This is Q on CBC Radio 1 across Canada, Sirius Satellite Channel 159 across North America, from PRI, Public Radio International in the United States. Well, when it comes to music, many people, despite what they might say to the contrary, like their favorite artists to be predictable. We want them to deliver what we expect of them, to do so every 2 or 3 years as the recording and touring cycle goes. And so it is to my next guest's credit that for the past 40 years, he's fashioned a most singular career by ignoring all of our expectations and doing things in his own way and on his own time. I'm talking about the legendary singer, songwriter, composer, and actor, Tom Waits. It's been 7 years since the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer released an album of new material, but next week he will release his 17th studio album, and it's called Bad As Me. Little taste of the title track from Tom Waits' new release, Bad As Me, surrounding himself with a cast of musicians including Keith Richards, Charlie Musselwhite, David Hidalgo, and Mark Ribot. Tom Waits once again takes listeners on an esoteric journey through backstreets, bedrooms, and battlefields where fortunes and romances are built and broken. And I'm pleased to have Tom Waits joining me on the phone today from California. Hello, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. It's nice to talk to you again.
Okay, you too.
Tom, there's first of all, thank you for this record. I'm loving this new album.
Okay, good.
Very much appreciate what you've done here.
Well, it wasn't just for you.
Oh.
We made several other copies and distributed them to other people. I hope you don't feel bad about that.
I won't. I'll try not to take it personally.
Okay,
I thought maybe you'd made an exception in this case for me, but I've just been playing, the song Pay Me.
Yeah.
I've been playing that like constant. I just love it. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That and Back in the Crowd.
Really? You're not playing any of the rockers, huh?
I know. I like the rockers too.
Guys.
I know. I'm a sap. Whatever.
What's the matter with you? What's wrong with Get Lost? That's built for the radio. And I'm saying Get Lost in like 8 languages at the end. You know what I'm saying? Don't just play the ballads, man.
No, we're not going to. We won't.
Yeah, but no, you said you've been playing the hell out of the ballads.
In my personal life, yeah.
Oh, no, I thought you meant on the air.
No. My personal, no.
Okay, I can't tell you what to do with your personal life.
Well, exactly. Maybe I need a little help. I listen to the ballads. I'm going through a tough time.
I can't be responsible for that either.
There's always a palpable sense of anticipation whenever a new Tom Waits studio album is announced. That might be in part, Tom, because the gaps are a little longer between the albums over the last half of your career. Creatively speaking, when do you know it's time to get back into the studio?
You don't really. I mean, it's not like a pregnancy or anything like that. And it's not really a matter of time either, I don't know. It's just, I guess, the only reason people write new songs is because they're tired of the old ones, right?
I mean, when it comes to songwriting, is the process something you initiate, or is it something that gets directed to you by an internal or external inspiration?
Songs, well, you know what? I compare it to, it's somewhere between Tourette's syndrome and the birth of a boil. They kind of erupt out of you. So I don't know.
That sounds painful.
Most songs have very humble beginnings, Even like, Heartbreak Hotel was like somebody read just like a line in somebody's obituary or something, where, no, it was a goodbye letter, a suicide note. And the guy said, "I walk a lonely street." And the writer, Tommy Durden, said, "Well, I got to get that line in the song somehow." I walk a lonely street. How do you get it in there? So sometimes, it's just a line. And
so the songs that you love, that you've written, does it feel sort of God sent then? If it's like the birth of a boil?
Well, I don't know. The ones that I really love are the ones that aren't here yet. Once the song is done, and you'll never listen to it as many times as you do when you're working on it, or examine it as closely.
You're not a guy who listens to your back material.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't see the point. It has very little food value for me. But, when you start writing new stuff, then you work on that, It's nourishing when you're working on something new. I think any artist will say that.
People do tend to see you, Tom, as a singular solo artist because of your rather unique voice and a musical style that, I mean, you've never been able to fit neatly into any specific genre. That said, much of your musical career, like particularly the last 20 years of it, has been defined by collaboration with songwriting partners, fellow musicians. To what extent do you think your musical success does depend on your relationships with others?
You say musical sex or musical success?
I wish I had said musical sex. I said success.
Oh, okay. How much did it depend on what?
Your your relationships with others.
With others?
Yeah.
Maybe you did say sex. I don't know. Everybody will tell you that chemistry's essential. But yeah, when you're working with people that you have a rapport with, it's always, if both of you know the same thing, one of you is unnecessary. So you work with people who come from different disciplines, and it's always interesting,
So on this record, on Bad As Me, you've surrounded yourself with quite a potent cast of collaborators, both old and new. You've got Keith Richards, Mark Ribot, Flea, Les Claypool, Charlie Musselwhite. To some extent, these are alpha musicians, guys with well-defined careers on their own. How do you choose the personalities that best fit the music?
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to fit the music. I don't think you just work with people that are real explorers. People when you tell them it's time to drink, they don't ask for a cup. They drink out of their hands. They're people that love chasing an idea around the room. You're kind of making weather. You're working on something you can't see, and you're trying to create these storms in the room. But it's always interesting. Even if nothing comes of it, it's interesting. You always learn something.
Can I ask you about Kathleen and the way you guys write together? Because in terms of collaboration as it applies to your career, it's like a family affair at this point, right? Your son Casey plays on the album. Your wife Kathleen Brennan has long been your songwriting partner, and to be sure, she co-wrote all the songs on Bad As Me. It's interesting that you were a successful songwriter on your own before you met, and then you gained a songwriting partner when you fell in love. What did she bring to your songs that you felt bettered you as an artist?
Well, everybody has a different musical background, so that's what you bring. You bring that, and then the familiarity with each other, so that you can tell someone when they're full of horseshit. Hers is more of more like opium dreams or whatever. Mine's more wire and sticks. I don't know. It's like once you've had kids together, writing songs is easy.
Earlier this year, you were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You never strike me as a guy who to whom those kind of honors are particularly important. What did it mean for you to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I joke around about it. I say, I said to my wife, well, the only thing worse than being in the Hall of Fame is not being in the Hall of Fame. It's like, sure. Hall of Fame.
Surely there's part of you somewhere that sort of goes, oh, that's nice. I'm in there with the Beatles or whatever. No.
How long do you have to wait out here in the hall? That's what I want to know. Hey, look, there's amazing artists that have been honored, and rightly so. But ultimately, I don't know what to do with it, except that I think that it feels a little bit like a gold watch at a company that you've been working at for a number of years, and that the next thing they're going to say is that they want to transfer you to another town, and we're getting somebody to replace you. We clean out your desk, please. So I'm just, I'm a grumpy, cynical guy.
A cynical reading of an excitable gesture, a celebratory gesture.
Yeah.
Listening to this record, it really does feel like you're very much in your musical prime. This sounds like another really strong record. You're 61 years old now. Where do you feel like you're at on your journey?
I'm 61. Jeez.
Are you not?
No, I thought I thought I was still in my 30s. Now I'm really depressed. I try not to get too lofty about the whole music thing because, I think doctors and astronauts, probably contribute more to the culture. But with songs, you're just basically letting the air out of a balloon very slowly, artfully, hopefully. And then, making words out of a variety of misrecollections and then naming it, after your mom or something, It's kind of a crazy way to make a living. But I enjoy it.
Do you feel like the same guy you were, say, 30 years ago?
No, hell no. Are you?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. But I mean, as a songwriter, yeah.
No, not that either.
No.
Jesus, 30, hopefully you're getting better. I sure hope I'm not the same person I was 30 years ago. But then again, the world is, like they say, is so much different than it ever used to be, and at the same time, it's quite a bit the same. But no, as an artist, hopefully I'm growing and changing and challenging myself and all that. Yeah.
It's a good pleasure to get to talk to you again, sir.
Okay, man.
We're going to go out on the song Back in the Crowd.
Okay.
You want to say anything about that?
You know what it really is? It's what they call Spanish tinge, which is a musical genre. Who did it the best? I'd say it was probably Roy Orbison and Willie DeVille. That's my crack at it.
Thanks, Tom. Good talking to you.
All right.
That's the great singer, songwriter, composer, and actor Tom Waits joining me by phone from California today. His new album, Bad As Me, will be released on Monday, October 24th, next Monday. From Bad As Me, this is the album's second single, Back in the Crowd.